That's not a hitless buck.
I mean,
hey guys,
it could be
in a couple years. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. The bad thing about having these photos be coming into your phone, you got to turn your notifications off because it can be addicting.
Yeah, I turned mine completely off.
Did you kill them?
Well, I have my camera set to upload once a day, so I'm not getting constantly bombarded.
I did too.
So I have it set strategically to upload like in the middle of the night.
This is gonna be interesting.
So that when I wake up in the morning,
they're ready for
I'm
you.
waking up to like, I usually alarm goes off, turn it off, took my trail camera pictures, then go take a shower and get ready to go to work. That's like my routine.
That is what Justin Zara's morning routine is. Quite frankly, it's very similar to mine. I have all my photos coming down at 4 to 4:30 a.m. window.
Yeah.
I figure that's earlier before they start kind of moving a little bit, so that's just my weird plan.
Makes sense to me. So, guys, welcome to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. The season is inching ever so closer by the day. I am less than 30 days until I'll be in Kentucky hunting. I know that Wyoming is now open. Dustin and Paul and the crew are out guiding antelope hunters, and they've got a couple antelope on the ground already. And here we sit in the office filming today. So
before we dive into today, let's go right into
the fact that Todd fell out of a tree yesterday.
Okay,
and the lifeline and hunter safety system saved your butt.
Saved my butt. Yeah, I'll show you what you're gonna see what my butt looks like, but that
If you
definitely
don't,
hurt.
It's more of like a upper back of the leg, not so much.
That was from the climbing stick.
Yeah, but so Todd was taking some tree stands down yesterday. Him and Brad were not practicing the best safety. You were doing good with safety in that you were using your harness, you were using your lifeline, but I've been with you enough times to know that you're a relatively risky individual, especially when you leave your stands in trees for a decade and they won't come out.
I highly
You're
recommend
using a
don't
winch
not do
to
that.
try to remove a tree stand.
I highly recommend. I mean, yesterday our goal was talking about tree stand maintenance, and there's no doubt when it comes to tree stand maintenance, leaving your tree stands in for too long a period of time is a bad thing. And once that bark starts growing in them, you can't get them out. I mean, we had to break multiple things yesterday to get the stands out. So with that,
I believe it.
Being said, who are we starting with first? I think we start off with answering someone's question. Someone shot us a question.
Sure.
That was specifically, let's hear it. Josh Waterman sent us a question. Got a new Matthews verdicts, and I'm having trouble holding my pin on target. Do you believe it's a lack of practice, or is there something I can do to help resolve this problem?
Gotta work out more, bro.
Build
those muscles up.
Seriously, with
I'm
all
just
that.
kidding.
No. That's not. See, I don't think you're kidding at all. I mean, with all kidding aside, before we filmed the show, I was in the garage shooting, and dude, there's no doubt. Working out certain muscles, I think, can make a big difference. I'm telling you, I feel kind of weak out there.
I think it can, but I think for a lot of people, like proper form is really what's going to help because it's a lot of bone on bone. It's not so much in your muscle; it's more in your skeletal system. So proper form is going to help. But as fate would have it, PJ Reilly and the folks over at Lancaster put together a tech tip for us about aiming drills. And I think aiming drills is something that a lot of people can benefit from, specifically Josh in this case, because it sounds to me like he may have a little bit of target panic going on. So we're going to turn it over to PJ, our resident archery expert. He's going to tell us a little bit about aiming drills for archery.
Hey guys, wanted to talk to you today about the importance and value of practicing aiming. A lot of times we go out to the range as bow hunters and we just take aim at a target and shoot. And doing those two things combined, you may not spend as much time as you think practicing just aiming. And when I'm talking about practicing aiming, I mean getting that pin to settle down nice and quiet for you. One of the side effects of target panic actually is that when your pin gets close to the middle where you want it to be, it'll start moving a lot, and then you just hit your release when you're close. You don't realize that you're doing it, but you are doing it. So if you just practice aiming without shooting, once your brain knows that you're taking out the shooting aspect of it, you'll be surprised at how still you can hold your pin. And by doing that over and over and over, you're reinforcing in your mind what it should look like holding that pin on target, and then introduce some shooting in. I think you'll find that your pinpoint accuracy, which target archers, bow hunters, whatever, that's what we all want. I think you'll find that it's going to go sky high. So we're going to run through a couple aiming drills here just to show you what you guys can do at home. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw back. You'll notice I do have an arrow on here. That's just for safety in case I were to hit the trigger on my release. I don't want to dry fire the bow, so there will be an arrow in there. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to full draw. I'm going to get my pin on the larger target down there. Just going to hold it steady. As soon as it starts to become evident that I can't hold it steady anymore, I'm just going to let the bow down. I'm just going to do that over and over.
Hey PJ, thanks again for the tips. I think that is all good information. Justin.
Advice you and I need before we get ready for the Lancaster Classic.
Did you see my grouping out there? It's off. It's not good. Did you mess with my bow?
No, I didn't.
You're so full.
But your bow is so dirty. Good grief, where do you keep that thing?
I use my bow.
I picked it is covered in like an inch of dust, the whole thing. I'm like, where does Todd put this thing to get it so dirty? Where was it? Does it just leave it outside?
No, I had it in my box in the back of my truck, and it was open, so when you drive on those gravel roads, all the dust.
Dude, I picked up your bow. I was like, oh my God, this thing is filthy. But guys, let's stop talking. We got 3 fun segments for this week. I didn't mess with this.
So full of
let's jump into the woods with the team, take a look at what everyone's been up to.
Well, what I want to talk about today, or what we're going to be working on, everybody, when you talk about property management or deer management, first things that come to people's heads is food plots. And even though food plots play a major role on your property and property management, the number one thing I feel anyway that's most often overlooked is going to be actually your timber, your woods. Forestry. To me, that's something that there's not a lot out there in the hunting industry being covered. What we want to do is we want to take a look at a piece of property, break it down, and see how we can actually improve the forestry of that. Now, I'm no expert in that, so with me today I have is Sarah Fisher. She's with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. And what we're working on is a piece of property that Todd Graf owns. He's got about a 2-acre point that comes out. It's in a swamp in Wisconsin, and we did a walkthrough with Sarah. And Sarah, if you want to talk about forestry, why you feel it's important with habitat management on properties, and basically running through with Todd's property and what the DNR has to offer for assistance for landowners.
Sure. So a lot of people, as Josh talked about, think about food plots and what are deer eating during the summertime, mostly crops, but what are they eating the rest of the time? Mostly woody vegetation. So that's what we're really focusing on Todd's property.
Well, I'm finally working on a dream that I've had for a long time, and that is to take this 2 acres of woods that are in the middle of, not the middle, but in my swamp here, and finally start doing something with it. I'm lucky enough to have met you, Sarah. Sarah is the, not gonna tell you what county, guys, because everyone's always trying to hawk in where I'm hunting, but Sarah is the forester for the county. Sarah, am I right? Yes. I got this all down? Yep. And she is gonna help me take this little 2 acres of woods and hopefully turn it into a little whitetail paradise.
Yep.
So today we're here, we're gonna go through these woods real quick. Sarah's gonna point some things out to me. We're gonna basically put together a plan to, I'm gonna let you take over, Sarah.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about goals for the area. So we want more whitetails, bigger whitetails.
Yep.
We're gonna talk a little bit about species. What do you want out here? What are you trying to achieve? And then make a plan and talk about the options from there, what we can do with it.
Definitely. And unfortunately, I mean, so many areas in Wisconsin here are just getting so much of that buckthorn, and it's just a shame because, you know, you go and you start one of these programs and you immediately kind of create a nice little habitat for that little mean nasty species to start too. So we're gonna have to be we're gonna be creating a little bit of a battle by starting this process, which I'm kind of aware of. So it's gonna be a long-term plan. But ideally, the goal is to get in here, get rid of some of the invasives that are in here already. So let's go ahead and start walking around and take a look at what we got.
All right.
Let's do it.
So this is one of those nice little invasives.
Yeah, that's one of those nasty buggers.
Yeah.
What is that thing?
It's a barberry. It's actually Japanese barberry, so it's a non-native invasive, and it's really prickly. Fun fact about Japanese barberry is they're said to collect ticks. Ticks like to hang out on them, so also another reason not to have them around.
I hate ticks. Josh is kind of like a tick. What do you mean we can't get rid of them?
True story.
Again, I think one of the things that I don't like about this is once the fall does set in on this particular area, I mean, you can see right through here. It just becomes a wasteland. And honestly, Sarah, the deer just avoid this, you know, and that's what I don't want.
Some good things you've got going on with the trees, the canopy. You've got some awesome white oaks, so those are excellent for deer. They've got a lot less tannins than the red oaks, so that's why they're a lot more.
Whoa. English tannins. Yep. I don't even know what that means.
So tannins are in the acorn, and they actually make the acorn bitter.
Okay.
And so the white oaks don't have as many of those, so that's why the deer like the white oaks better.
Okay.
So the red oaks are a lot more bitter because they have those tannins in them.
Okay.
Yep.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
We better keep walking before we need a blood transfusion.
You also have these nice aspen in here. They're doing really good. They're kind of on a higher spot out here. They're really liking the water table, but they've got enough soil that they can do really well out here. So one option you have, these are kind of, looks like some of them are kind of nearing maturity and kind of the end of their life stage. So if you wanted to, one really cool thing about aspen is it grows in a clone, which means it's all one life form. It's all coming from the same root system.
Okay.
And so when you cut them off, how they come back, oaks have their acorns, they seed themselves in. Aspen, or you cut them off and they root sprout. So they sprout everywhere, which is how they come back. So basically, if you want those to come back,
which I would think we would.
Yeah,
I mean, this is just a neat little, there's only a certain clump of them right here.
And they're awesome for all kinds of different wildlife. Turkeys, deer, grouse, woodcock.
And how do you get them to resprout? You have to cut them way at the bottom?
Cut them off, yep.
Okay.
Cut them off, lay them over in the wintertime, because all of their energy is in their root systems. So then in the spring, they'll sprout like crazy, and they often grow 6 to 8 feet a year. So
with the 6 to 8 feet a year, I'm going to get bug spray. Okay. You guys are doing much better than I am. Everything you're doing is good. Here, open your mouth. So how would we ultimately determine which of these we're going to take out?
Well, aspen is very sun dependent and it's very shade intolerant. So I would recommend cutting all of the aspens. So
every one?
Yes.
Now you're scaring me.
I would cut all of them because remember they're going to come back. And if you only cut a few, they're going to get shaded out and they're all going to die. So
okay.
It's kind of a high risk, high reward type of deal. So they're all going away, but they're all coming back. The one thing you might have is a lot of deer browse once they come up, so you're going to have to watch for that. But
well, and I think we're going to have a caging plan in place.
Yep.
We'll just have to get a bunch of wire cages out here, and we'll have to just figure out a plan. And maybe what we can do with these aspens, and this is just us talking out loud right now, but maybe we knock out half of the family and keep the other half of the family over there. Maybe
we can try. Maybe. We can try it.
That's my chickenness kicking in right there. I cut them all down. I was aggressive over there. Now I'm getting nervous. This is bad, right? Over here, this is my enemy tree.
This is the buckthorn we were talking about before. So this is one of the parent trees. Why buckthorn is so bad is it's shade tolerant. It's also a diuretic for birds, so it spreads like crazy. So this, in the fall or later this summer, this tree is going to be covered with little black berries. and the birds eat them, and then they spread them everywhere.
When they go to the bathroom.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And the good thing about this right now is you don't have a lot of good seedlings or stuff in the understory that you're trying to protect.
Okay.
So right now you can nuke stuff, and it's not going to do a lot of damage to your residuals.
Okay.
With these bigger ones, I normally recommend, if you have a lot of them, I recommend basil bark spraying them. So as opposed to cutting them down, treating the stumps, then you have to deal with the tops and all of that, I just say you can leave them standing. Basil bark spray them about a foot tall all the way around
that
the
will
stem.
kill them.
Yep, and then you just leave them standing, and they'll just fall apart over time.
And what specifically when you say basil bark? I mean, what is that? Is that the actual spray we're using, or is that just the technique?
It's a technique.
Okay.
So you either mix the chemical with diesel fuel, or it's a bark oil that'll adhere it to the stem, and the shrub will pull it in over time, and it actually kills it. It takes it down into the roots and kills it. So it's that bonding agent to the bark.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you just put chemical on it, it'll run off and it won't do anything. And so
Okay.
it's that other bonding agent with it.
Okay, cool. That's sounds like a lot of work already. Maybe we just go in thirds. Maybe we go like 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, and then that way we can just kind of like, say like, okay, year 1, we are 100% doing this. We're gonna plant this many trees and cage them, spray the bottoms, do the basil thingamajigger. Forgot that already. Basil spark spray.
Yep.
And then maybe we just pick as many of the aspens in here. Yeah, because I there's no doubt it'll be a little sad to see all these aspens gone. I mean, it'll be
pretty drastic.
Just let go, Todd. Just cut them and let go.
I'm feeling that.
Just let it go. Come on.
I have a hard time.
You need a hug?
I do.
You need a hug.
Let's keep going.
Alright guys, welcome to Southeastern Ohio. Working all day today trying to get stuff finished up on this house and packed up. What are we packing up for? Well, me and my family have decided to move out west. So we are leaving Ohio and headed to Wyoming here in the next week. So I'm trying to prepare stuff around the house here so that if I do have a chance to come back late season, maybe I'll have a successful hunt. So a couple of the things that I did is I planted some beans out here and behind me in the food plot, planted a bunch of brassicas in it so that I have some stuff for late season. The main thing that I'm doing right now is actually putting Energizer batteries in a lot of my stealth cams. That way the cold weather doesn't affect them and they last pretty much until I come back. So real quick, I'm actually going to fill up this stealth cam and then a couple more cartridges, and I'm going to run over the hill to one of my favorite spots, the place that I killed my biggest buck in 2014, and lucky, good, whatever you want to call it, it's a hunt that I remember to this day. And so anyway, we're going to real quick fill this up and head over the hill and check some cameras and get packed up in the next week or so, and hopefully we'll bring you guys some western action here in the next month or so. So I'll be working, but I also have a couple tags to fill. I think I drew a mule deer tag and I also drew an antelope tag. So cool, different world. So I'm going to enjoy every bit of it, and hopefully my son and wife enjoy it with me. So let's get these batteries filled and we'll head out. Kind of get an idea of what kind of terrain I actually hunt in here in southeastern Ohio. We've got a decent many crops, but not around here. Just got a bunch of hardwoods and ravines and creeks and hills and a bunch of other stuff. All right, well, you kind of got to see type of terrain that I'm hunting in. Got a creek bottom down here. Right behind me you can see
just a straight up ridge. Now the key to me killing my good buck in 2014 is that my tree stand's right on the top of this ridge. So the buck was bedded down over the hill about 200 yards away on the edge of the ravine. And when he came down this edge, he wanted to get the wind in his favor the whole time. So he came all the way over to this fence row that's right here, about 40 yards away from the fence row, and he thought he had all the wind, and he started turning up and going towards into the wind. And if he'd have went another 20 yards, he'd have busted me. But that's the key to big bucks. You've got to find those little spots where they feel comfortable, they think they've got all the wind, but really you're in a little bend or a crevice or something like that makes so that you can catch them unaware. They think they got you, but before you know it, they're running hard and laying stiff. Oh, about got me. There's the stealth cam. And what it's looking at is, I always start a scrape right up here. And there's a hard trail that cuts right down through there. So I always start a scrape. Here's my licking branch. I'll usually bend another one down. It's been hit several years in a row. These bucks come from down here, or they come from where my buck came from and walked all the way down. Now you see there's enough foliage down low that early season these bucks feel pretty good bedding in this and stuff, but if you slip in the back door up the ridge and into my stand, you can get in here. If the acorns are falling, it's really good early season. Normally, well, this year for sure, I won't get to hunt it till really late season, so hopefully catch them coming through here to bedding and then back to wherever their food is on the other side of the road or whatever. Now this is the G30 or 42, and it takes pretty good pictures. It's an old camera, and it just keeps running, so I just leave it out here. I've had this thing for, man, I don't know, 6 years, something like that. All right, guys, so I got this thing taking pictures right now. It's put 9 pictures on here. I always test it before I go. Yep, 3 pictures taken, so we're good to go. Let's put this thing away and get out of there. Hopefully we'll be back here late season sometime. Check the camera, pull the cards, see what all we're gonna get here in the next month or so, and maybe we'll have a deer to chase. So until next time, guys, shoot straight, stay safe, and hunt hard, guys. Bow hunt or die.
Hey guys, Johnny Herrmann here. I'm up in Ontario, Canada. I'm fishing with my dad and my brother on our annual father-son Father's Day weekend fishing trip in June. We always come up here and guess what? I bring my camera with and I film my hit list up here because, you know why? Because it's my happy place. So anyways, my hit list this year, 2019, is going to be one buck only, and that buck is called Ape Hanger. He lives down in Illinois. My buddy Frankie Clark found both sides to him this last winter. We didn't know it at the time. Frankie found those horns, I believe, in February or March, but I can't. Oh, I think I might have just had a hit. So anyways, Frankie found those horns in either February or March, but I went back down there in April and pulled my cameras, my winter cameras, and little did we know that Ape Hanger had dropped his horns the second week of December. So he was hornless through a couple of doe seasons that Illinois had. So I don't really know that he's alive or not, yet, but I'm hoping he is. With the last pictures I got of him, he was looking pretty run down. Had lost a lot of weight during the rut. Obviously dropped his horns way early, so who knows? I hope that he's going to be alive, obviously, because he's going to be a giant. Frankie feels like he's only going to be a 4-year-old this year, and Frankie's got a pretty good intuition on things. So I'm hoping that Frankie's right and that he blows up into a bigger giant than he already is. The other thing that Frankie's really good at is picking stand sites of where to kill these big deer that him and Clinton and, you know, Rector and those guys kill down in Fulton County. So Frankie gave me some insight on where he thinks I should kill that deer, and I'm actually gonna show you guys a map of this farm. And I'll put some stuff on there where I know that I get some pictures of him, where I know that he beds at times. I'll probably put a couple of spots that Frankie showed me where he thinks I should kill that deer. But I'm also going to put some HME blinds up in some inaccessible spots for tree stands. I'm kind of going all in on this deer this year. It's not every year that you get to hunt a 200-inch deer, and this has obviously been a lot of fun for me here the last couple of years. So it would be unbelievable to shoot that deer and be able to show you guys that kind of footage. So that's it, man. That's my hit list for 2019. Ape hanger, #1 buck, Illinois. So until next time, I hope you guys got your trail cameras out. I hope you're getting big old buck pictures. Be safe out there, wear your safety lines, get your tree stand work done before hunting season. We'll see you from a tree stand this fall. Bow hunt or die, guys.
All right, guys, if you want to learn more about Mr. Graf's forestry plans for his Wisconsin property, make sure you hop over to the website. We've got the rest of the video, I guess the director's cut of the rest of the video of Todd's plan to improve his property. Now, Todd,
Plan.
your
Maybe
plan.
destruction. I'm not sure which of the two it's going to be.
You have to tear it down to build it up first. At least that's what I took away from what she was saying. But guys,
Yes.
seriously, if you have questions about forestry or improving your property, go to your local DNR. Most of them have local foresters that are more than willing to come out and meet with you and look over your property, give you some helpful advice on how you can improve your native habitat and help control some of those invasive species. I know buckthorn is a massive problem around here. Obviously up in Wisconsin at your place. I was in the UP of Michigan and I saw some growing in the spring and I was like, it's all the way up here too. So definitely kill that stuff if you can, because it's horrible.
I'm all in. I'm going for it. I mean, you know what? I have done very little to that particular piece of property, and there's something about it lately that I'm going to go for it.
Fair enough.
I mean, it is a shame when I think about me being 15, 14, 12 years old, however I was when I first started hunting there, and what that point of woods
used to look like.
Oh my gosh, it's just it's
totally
gross.
different.
It's going down. It's going down.
Yeah, definitely. So then we had Paul Morrison dropping the bomb that he's moving out to Wyoming.
Congratulations.
So Paul's actually guiding for Dustin this fall, and then I don't know what he's doing after that. We'll have to check him.
He's going to be filming for the show. That's even an argument?
No, I mean like for work.
Oh, for work. Was that sign on the back of his car real?
What did it say?
The one in WhatsApp. I know you saw it. Brad, did you see it? Did somebody see the sign? The one where they put the sign in the back of his car because he couldn't afford a sign to put on the side of the road? You guys not see this? All right, well, we're gonna flash this up there. It's actually pretty funny.
All right.
You truly didn't see this?
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna flash it up there.
Sorry.
whoever
Sorry,
did
Paul.
do this, if Paul didn't do it, it's kind of a good idea.
Fair enough. And then, you know,
I'll do this to Justin Truck and say bowhunting.com on it. It's
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I
but
know you
fair
will.
enough.
You're going to see this.
Last but not least, we checked in with Johnny on his annual hit list update from a boat in Canada. Had some really cool underwater fishing footage in there, but man,
Dude, look
giant,
at the size of that lake trout he was pulling up.
catching some nice fish. So, man, heck of a deer that he's chasing.
Yeah, forget about the fish. Let's talk about this drop tine monster. I mean, seriously, you want to talk about a dream. Dude, this thing's serious. When you talk about a hit list buck, I mean, I know sometimes every year we even maybe put these hit lists together just because we're trying to track deer from each year.
Sure.
But that 100% is a hit list buck, and that one is wanted dead.
Well, let's hope he's still alive and Johnny gets to chase him, because there's been no confirmation yet this year. But if he is alive, we know Johnny's going to be spending a lot of time down in Illinois. Guys, next up, we are going to go through the trophy photos. We're going to see who this week's winner is, who sent in the best photo. So let's take a look at them now. Aaliyah Wozniak.
Christian Stevens.
Chuck Kimmel.
Jacob Reynolds.
Joey Woodruff.
And Mark Flora. As always, we appreciate you guys submitting your photos and hashtagging Bowhunt or Die. Justin, this is all you this week, my man.
It's all me?
I'm going to pass the torch over to you this week, and I'm going to tell you, this is a tough one, man. 3 of those look pretty darn good from here.
There are some good submissions. I'm going with Joey Woodruff this week as my winner. I know that he violates a small rule that we usually have, which is the smiling. But I think when you go with the kind of admiring your trophy look, you don't have to smile so much.
Kind of how you look at me.
As long as you're not like mean mugging the camera and you want to like look super, tough and serious, which he's not doing. Good lighting, pose the deer. I could see the bow. It's a heck of a buck. Joey, you did a great job there. But we are giving an honorary. Honorary is going to go to Aaliyah. I hope I'm saying that right. Wozniak, because this little girl killed herself a dandy of a buck.
It's a great
She's got her compound bow. Did a nice photo. Aaliyah, you are awesome. Good job. So Aaliyah and Joey, both guys, send us your information. We will get you the Buck Bomb and Sent Away prize packs sent out to you.
Sharing some love this week.
Usually
gives me a hard time by giving.
Well, usually you pick like 5 winners, not just 2. You're like, yeah, prizes for everybody. So guys, that is all the action we've got for this week. As I said, we are sub 30 days until whitetail season.
How you feeling, little buddy?
I was surprised when I checked my little countdown thing on my phone the other day to see that there was 29 days left until I go home.
How are we supposed to be serious back here when he's back there yawning? I mean, both these guys are yawning back there.
I thought I had more time. I looked at my timer and it said 29 days, and I was like, probably need to start shooting a little bit more and get my stuff ready. So we're having a little 3D shoot at Miller's house this weekend.
Oh, another invitation.
I'm gonna lay the smack down on some people, except for Miller, because he's really good. But yeah,
You gonna put that address up so everyone can just shoot over to Miller's house?
Our whole team was invited. He sent the invite out multiple times in the WhatsApp graph, including to you.
I think I got deleted from WhatsApp.
No, you created the group, so we can't delete you, unfortunately.
Or I would have been.
How are you feeling?
I feel awesome. I am money on this year.
You ready to go?
I am ready.
Stands,
my stuff is
everything.
Not everywhere, but certain spots, I'm ready.
I have 1 stand trimmed.
I do not. My personal farm is done. I'm out. Food plots are in.
They're growing.
Wisconsin.
Our food plot germinated. The one that Brad and I planted, our clover, it germinated.
I think you got an extra rain than I got. I really do.
No, not the one out west. The one here, close.
Oh,
that one germinated
when you did
too.
that west, when we both did those the same day, whew.
Yeah,
you got rain, I didn't get rain.
My honey holes germinated. It's looking good. We've had a ton of rain the last 4 days. It's rained almost every day.
Well, I'm ready to go.
Food
You'll
plots
be
are
ready.
going to be
You'll
growing.
get there.
I will get there. So guys, that's all the action we've got. Check back next week right here. Bowhunt or Die.
I am doing my annual 2019. No, that's not right. Oh. Where in the heck are the trout, man?
Well, in today's show, what we want to be covering, take 2.